So what does it say when China's regs have just kicked in? And as far as I know, Emily Wilkins was talking about setting up this working group. But as far as I know, there's no legislation that is seriously be considered in the U.S. to regulate AI.
Absolutely. I think that the regulatory path in the United States is still at a fairly early stage. In contrast, China's regulatory agencies have been discussing and planning AI regulation longer than most countries. It goes back to at least 2017, if not earlier than that. They convened groups to discuss AI long before ChatGPT became popular. So it's not surprising to see them roll out generative AI rules faster than anybody else. That having been said, the rules are broad. So it's going to be a while before we actually understand what they allow and disallow. They're certainly narrower than the proposed rules that first came out in April 2023, and then there was a discussion period, some explicit fines for violations, some compliance requirements by the platforms got knocked out when the final draft came out in July 2023. But I do certainly expect that the rest of the world is going to follow China rather than the EU on many aspects of their own AI rules.
And is that a good thing? Because we were talking sort of half-jokingly about this offline a couple of seconds ago, and I asked you whether you saw that deep-fake Nancy Pelosi video, which purportedly showed her walking around drunk. I mean, in China's case, something like that would never happen. I mean, you'd never see a sort of a similar deep-fake video of, let's say, Xi Jinping walking around drunk, right?
Yeah, it's a tough thing to regulate unless you have a really good framework in place. I think that a lot of countries are going to follow China in requiring watermarking or identifying AI-generated content and in making the creation of deepfake videos illegal. So making the creation of a video with someone's image without their permission illegal. Now, to actually counter deepfakes, what you're probably going to have to do is also mimic another one of China's policies, which they require the registration of all AI systems with the government. I think other countries are going to realize after a while that for certain kinds of high-risk AI, it is going to be necessary to not simply allow 1,000 flowers to bloom, allow the open source software to be installed by anybody, but to only allow these AI systems to operate on licensed clouds. Many people call this Know Your Cloud, or KYC, a new form of KYC. And the reason for this is without that kind of infrastructure control, it's impossible to prevent a deepfake video like this from being created. You can make it illegal to do so, but if there's no way to track who has done it and where it's running from, then the law by itself isn't going to prevent the creation of the videos.